Hello guys, it's switching mic. Switching mic. Okay, so we are back and little intro music as always. For those who are new to my broadcast, we just do a little intro and then that's it. Because if you don't know that I'm also a jazz musician on the side, do it for fun. Do it for fun. Although I guess I do play professionally sometimes. This is my first time to be chivalrous. Sounds like you look like somebody I know. Look like somebody I know. Let's see. To be blunt. So you're Scoper. Let me follow you. Okay. Let me follow you, Mr. To be chivalrous. Hello, Claire Peters. Hello, Anonymous. Hello, can you play shallow? No, I play deep. I try not to play shallow. Will you touch on the Milky Foot advertisement? It's Aussie. Oh, Aussie. To be chivalrous is Aussie. Okay, well, I'm going to look at your scopes and see what it's all about. We have so many Aussie friends in here. Oh, follow me too. Zuck. I don't know. Deep cut. I don't know if I'm gonna follow you with your bad words. So, it's probably not unless that's a typo. Was that intentional or a typo? That's what we call our mates down here. Oh yeah, you're so nasty. Hello, Moonchild. How are you doing, Moonchild? You're Australian too. Two of you from Australia. That you're both from Australia. Let me check you out here. Deucey Goosey, you're a Scoper too. Okay, might as well follow you, Deucey Goosey. Okay, hello, Were Eagle. Hello, welcome, my friends. Welcome. So as always, I'm on YouTube. We have a few Aussies in here. Good to hear, Moonchild. You're not working tonight. I thought you were Australian. No, I'm not, but I don't look Australian. But what does an Australian look like? You tell me. Hello, Jane, my friend. Jane. How are you, Jane? So we are talking tonight about ads. Do you know the show Jan Can Cook? Yes. Does that mean that I look like Jan Can Cook? Oh, you work 2 to 9. I'm off. It's already 2 to 9. It's only 8 o'clock here. Yeah. Hey, Jane, Kylie. It looks like an Australian. We have Asians who speak Australian here. I know that to be chivalrous. I know that. I know that. And we have so many friends here from Australia. No, what that would be racist. Uh, we have so many Australians that are here on my broadcast as well as on my app Brax.me. We have quite a few Australian friends on Brax.me. In fact, probably next to Canada, that'd be the largest group from a different country. I'd say Australia is yeah. It would be. I'm Australian. Did I yes, you did mention that, Juice Box. I'm trending in Australia. Why am I trending in Australia? Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. So we're gonna talk about how the Australian government spies on you. Well, actually not, but maybe I should. Maybe I should talk about how the Australian government spies on you. I have some special knowledge about Australia because I've helped some friends uh, from here on Brax.me, and I've actually shipped them devices like Tor routers and so on. And I got a chance to actually log into networks like Telstra modems in 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 Australia, and Broad Z is gone, and and I found out that you guys are being passed through a zucking proxy server. Your internet is being passed through a proxy server. Now I don't know if you know what that means. I'm trending on Grinder. Should I get a VPN? Yes, you should, Tinkerballs. I've already told you that. Especially when you're in Grinder. Did you put your HIV status in Grinder too? Because Grinder wants to advertise your HIV status and make sure they put your real name in there and advertise it everywhere. With or without HIV, it sounds weird. Okay, it's like what the zuck? That's kind of thing they do in Australia, in on Grinder. Kind of thing they do. Good evening, I'm in it. Sir Cal, initials, Claire Peters, Twist Mint, AMG, and Dutch Maz, and hello Dutch, and Ben, and entire Meyer, initials okay. How is traffic being routed in Australia? It's an option. Thanks, cheap, for the share. What does mother does it follow through anti-clockwise? Anyway, this is off topic, but it's just an interesting point since we have a couple of Australians here at least. And if you stay long enough, there'll be some of our regulars from Australia will show up. But in Australia, if you have a Telstra modem, and I've actually proven this, if you have a Telstra modem, the Telstra hardware automatically funnels you through a proxy server. It's hardwired into the Telstra modem. So unless you install your own modem, hello Pat's fan, unless you install your own modem, the Telstra modem will actually, hardware-wise, you can't put any software on it because it's at the hardware level. The hardware actually automatically connects you to a proxy server. Well, if you don't know what a proxy server is, a proxy server is a way to zuck you big time, because that means all of your internet browsing history is zucking cached. Okay? That means they have a little history in there, and then a little, not just a history, but they actually, if you download some image from some porn site, they actually have it stored on the zucking proxy server, so they can say, oh, this is what these guys have been looking at. Precisely, even, exact images. So anyway, that's what a proxy server does. So zucked up. I got iNetBob 2. I don't know what that is, but if you're not on Telstra or you're not using a Telstra modem, you're better off. Yes. So Telstra modems zucked up in Australia. And of course, when you come into the border in Australia, they'll say, "Let me look at your phone, sir." And you say, with an Australian accent, of course, "Let me look at your phone, mate." Can't do that, but yes, juice box. I know. I've been tracking you. I don't have Telstra. Yes, no Telstra for you. I'm using Romanian interconnectors, most likely. Sounds more British. Hey, what the zuck? I don't know anything. My data here is going to give some guy in a suit a heart attack. Yes, I can imagine. Tinker. So anyway, the actual topic today is about more general about ads, about creepy ads. So yes, you should use DuckDuckGo. We're gonna explain the difference between DuckDuckGo and other things, but first we're gonna talk about what is my biggest fear. What is my biggest fear? I don't know, running out of ammo. Let me see. What's my biggest fear? Running out of ammo? That's a pretty big fear. Is that just for Australia? Yes, the Telstra modem thing is just for Australia, yes. That's a pretty big fear. So I hope I don't run out of ammo. He'll know Neo 5. What the zuck? Hell to the... Yeah. What's my biggest zucking fear? I don't know. I want to make sure that... boom, boom, boom. No, pew, pew, pew. Load up those plastic bullets. Running out of clean sweaters and... See, this actually works, okay? We're actually going to fire this, okay? Ready, guys? Ready. Okay, Cover your ears. Cover your ears now. I don't want somebody saying, well, I have PTSD. Okay. Cover your ears, because we're going to actually shoot. Just want to make sure there's no actual ammo in here. No. Okay. Cover your ears. Okay, here we go. There. So anyway, there's a hole in the wall now. You don't need to Google. Right between the eyes, right ways that you would have to sell is 80 kph. Zuck J, that's right. No more double tap. Hold it sideways like a real. Did I tell you the story? I went to the shooting range. I don't do shooting. I don't really know how to shoot. But just imagine this scene, which is semi-real, okay? So I went to the shooting range, and this big guy, big black dude, like really big, okay? Looking really gangster. I mean, he's like really big guy. And he has a Glock. Okay, he has a Glock, and then he holds it like that. Pow, pow, pow. And then the target was like 5 feet away. The target was like 5 feet away. I mean, and it does pow, 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 like sideways like this, right? And it shoots all of the rounds into this target at 5 feet away. And all the bullets were like all over the place. It's like, I mean, the zucking target was right in front of his face, and all the bullets were all over. Okay? Yes, 5 feet away. So I said, zucking idiot, I said. So I put mine at 7 yards away, which is 21 feet. Did you steer your fob with your piece? So I put mine at 20. I was right next to him. I put mine at 21 feet. And I, did my thing, just like this. I did my thing at 21 feet, and I said, okay. Okay, and mine was, at 21 feet, I can hit your nose. So at 21 feet, this size target, I'm gonna put a cluster right in the middle of that. Okay? That's what I'm gonna do. And that's like, this gangster types, they go into the range like, I got a Glock. I'm gonna shoot like a gangster. I'm gonna shoot like a gangster, like stupid Zuck. Learn how to zucking shoot. Learn how to zucking shoot. Don't get within 21 feet of So and it's a range. So with the pistol, 21 feet is appropriate on a. And then I pulled out my rifle and then did the same thing at 25 yards because that's how far the thing is. This is gold. What advice do you have to get a guy's attention? That seems to be easy. Pin a bullet on your foot. You need the zucchini call-ins. So that's easy. That's easy anonymous. Show some open bobs and that should do it. Did you give a war whoop? No, I didn't want him to go gangster on me and just say, you're sucking, shooting better than I am, and then point his gun at me. So I didn't want that. So I didn't say anything, but he was next to me, and I hope he could see how stupid he was at shooting. Taking notes. You should do a dial-in option. No, to be chivalrous, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. I am on Zucking YouTube right now. If I did a call-in option, there would be nothing here because YouTube will not see anything. Hello, doctor. How are you doing, doctor? You let him live. That's nice. Love to converse with you. Does the call-in have any peer-to-peer traffic? It is peer-to-peer, yeah. So, I guess that's not necessarily true. It depends on how they program it. But in theory, you would, if I did a call in, I would have to use like Skype, and then that's kind of complicated. And yeah, I don't want to do that. It's just too complicated. Then I have to say, here's my phone number, and then my Skype address, and then people are gonna Skype me when I don't want them to Skype me, and on and on and on. So anyway. Let's talk about zucking ads and how they zuck you day to day. So to be chivalrous here, can we just shoot the ads? Yes. To be chivalrous here is like going around the internet, going to all these porn sites, and it's like saying, what the zuck? I'm getting the same zucking ads for whatever product. Getting back to we are digressing here. So it's like everywhere he goes, he sees the ad for lube. It's like, what the fuck? I go to Facebook and I see lube. I go to Google, I see lube. I see everywhere I see lube. So what the fuck is going on? Because he clicked on it on the porn site. I'm the porn guy. You're the porn guy, Juice Box. Okay, that's you. Okay. So, or Viagra, yeah. Yes. Yes, it's Juice. Pimple Popper. Okay, so autocorrect knows my porn site address. There you go. So that's and we don't actually understand how it works, and you have no idea why. Why did I go to the market? I went to this. Actually, my brother said this. He said I went to Bevmo. Bevmo is like a beverage kind of supermarket. They only sell beverages. So he went to Bevmo. He went to Bevmo and he got some special drink from Bevmo. Just, one-off kind of drink that he doesn't usually get. And then he goes home and looks at Ducking Zuckbook because he's on Zuckbook, not like me. He went on Bevmo, on Zuckbook, and then that beverage was in his timeline. The beverage was in the timeline. I'm used to auto completion lately. That's sucked up. So anyway, it's like then he actually, texted me and said, "What the fuck is going on here? Why is it doing that?" And here's the other case where somebody tells me we were having a discussion on the phone about X, and then suddenly I see it in an ad on Facebook. And is the phone listening to me? So they're actually thinking about these kinds of things. I'm sure it's credit card, hey, but because some of this is true, some of this is not true. Some people saying we were just having a discussion in the house, and suddenly the ad appears on something that we never talk about. So is Alexa listening to that? Is that So they start wondering about all these questions, and in any case, then you need to understand what the real thing is and what they actually do, so that you understand what the way is to fix it and how you solve this. To some of you, it's not creepy. To some of you, you'll say, "No, it's not. It's not beacons. No, beacons is email." To some of you, it's not a big deal. It's well, I have nothing to hide. I don't care. Who cares if I see a few ads? They'll help me decide to get the right car or the right refrigerator or whatever. It's like, oh, I see. So you don't really want to search for the refrigerator you want. You want somebody to tell you what refrigerator you should buy. Not based on what you research, but based on what somebody feeds you. Okay, that makes sense. You don't want to get this kind of beverage. You want a beverage that somebody else points to you. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense to who? I don't know, but I guess it makes sense to you, but doesn't make any sense to me. So anyway, when things like that happen, and it gets really, really creepy. So let's say you're like looking at ammo. You're looking at ammo at one of those gun sites on the internet. Since I got this in here, so you're looking at ammo, and then you see ads for various things related to guns, and you kind of worry because wow, somebody profiled me as being really big into guns, so it's showing up in my timeline. Now that worries me because to some people that's enough of a marker. In fact, that could cause me to be banned on social media just because I show a toy gun. So I showed a toy gun, so that should be enough for me to get blocked. So that kind of behavior is kind of worrisome, and then you start thinking about things you do on the internet. They're more specific to maybe some narrower demographic. For example, going to gay sites, like Tinker does, and that makes that makes Tinker more of a target because it's a much more narrow population, and they say, okay, we want to take this population and somehow energize them to you know go, I don't know, like for voting, for like do a demonstration or something. So that's the thing. With the narrower the group, the easier you are to be manipulated. It's called. They have a nice word for it. It's called micro targeting. Okay, the narrower the group. So for example, they want to find black dudes that wear a hat, this particular kind of hat, like a beret kind of hat, and wears dark clothing. They want to find that specific individual, and they can. And now you got this. It's called micro targeting. You actually you can find specific people with specific behaviors, and it should be the reverse. You should be finding them. You should be finding products rather than the other way around, where they find you. What if you're always on Amazon buying every day? Well, Amazon has a good policy. They're sucked up in their email, but otherwise they seem to exercise restraint in revealing stuff that you buy on Amazon. That's not perfect, but they don't sell their data apparently. But MasterCard and Visa does. You should use DuckDuckGo, but that's you need to have an explanation of what each one actually does once you know how it works. Okay, so given the story here of the creepiness of advertising, because they're actually doing it in reverse. You're not out there finding specific products. They're out there finding you in reverse. So they find that specific people doing certain things are a good target market, and they may be a good target market for selling a product. They may be a good target market for doing something political or convincing you of something or changing your behavior. Amazon is zucked in the way they pay the employees. I'm talking about pineapples, and within minutes there was a pineapple earring advertisement on my mom's computer. I never activate the credit cards I apply for. You apply for a credit card and then you don't activate it? That doesn't make any sense. Why did you apply for them? Do you recommend using a Raspberry Pi phone? No. What's the difference? You use a Raspberry Pi phone, then you put a SIM card. The SIM card identifies you anyway. So no. That's a different topic though. But that's maybe an interesting broadcast for later on. Just understand that the IMEI is in the phone card that you insert in your Raspberry Pi, and so that locks you in anyway. So you put a SIM card in there, and you're still zucked. Also, the parts that I've seen for Raspberry Pi cell signal is actually 2G, so that's not going to be available soon. If you should, I'll get the boys' attention asking for a friend. Yes, you will get their attention. Yes. Use an iPod for calls. Song. What about CDMA technology? CDMA, it's like, I don't know. I used to be on CDMA, but it's just less flexible. So I try not to be on CDMA. I saw someone picking packing straws into little bags at Amazon warehouse. They turn into backbreaking labor by making them pick up every straw they drop in the ground as soon as it happened. Use a typewriter for calls. I use a VPN. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. This is not a question of using just using a VPN, DuckDuckGo. That's not enough to handle this. First, you have to understand exactly what's happening. What's happening is sites like Google are not just watching you from Google search, because the first thing that we're thinking about is we go to Google search and we type something on there. Google search does keep your search info, okay, and keeps it into your profile. And by the way, let's compare it to DuckDuckGo. If you go to DuckDuckGo, you say, okay, I type something in, and I type a search criteria like refrigerators, and the difference between Google and DuckDuckGo is on Google they store not just the fact that you search for refrigerators, but you search for guns and bullets and ammo, and that you're actually a balding white guy that's buying minoxidil and that you're actually rich and you like guns and you live in this part of the country and you like to travel, okay, and on and on and on all the details, and you voted for Trump. So this is the kind of thing that Google is tracking. DuckDuckGo doesn't do that. They say you search for refrigerator. They said, okay, then you must like refrigerators, so we'll show you refrigerators. So tomorrow you search for ammo, they'll show you ammo. They're not going to show you refrigerators. They're just going to show you ammo. On Google, when you search for ammo, they'll still show you refrigerators. And here's the bad part: you're not even in Google. You're on Facebook, and you still see the ammo. Well, Facebook probably won't let the ammo in there, but you'll still see the refrigerators still on Amazon. It will chase you around the internet because they have a profile on you. And to some of you, you say, I got nothing to hide. Who cares? This is not that important. I'm disturbed that Google knows what words I don't know how to spell. Yes. So it really is. It should be bothersome to you when you start thinking about the fact that they're storing what is called a profile. And the behavior is not as simple as saying, I search for a few things. They know more than that. They know what comments you're making on social media. They know if you're Republican or Democrat. They know your financial status, and they can really do micro targeting to some extent. They even know your personality, and if you're kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, serious and all this, they will know it to that degree. And they also know every website you visit, and that's part of what they. You should use Gmail when you want to be pseudo-anonymous. Gmail has a purpose. I was talking to my brother last night about I needed a root canal. Root canal ads everywhere. That exactly. I forgot. Nick, can you Nick Knight? Can you? I want to follow you back. Just pop a comment again. Okay, I'm following. This is my stuff. Well, this is my stuff. This is what I talk about. But where you should follow me is actually subscribe to my YouTube account, Rob Braxman Tech, because you're only seeing the broadcast. Nikki. Okay, Nikki, I'm going to follow you, Nikki. Oops, this is Slonky, not Nikki. Okay. I follow Slonky anyway. I'm sure you don't mind that, Slonky. Okay, so Nikki followed you too. Okay. Okay, so Google owns YouTube. Yes, Google owns YouTube. There's some ways to live. Hello, Dehama. Who's Bob? Bobs are not welcome here, Dehama. That is fine. Yes, Slonky, you want me to unfollow you? Anyway, you follow me on YouTube on Rob Braxman Tech because I have videos there. I only do the live stream here. This is actually multicasted on YouTube. So Google owns everyone. Well, I thought Facebook owns everyone. If you're asking me what's worse, Facebook is worse. Google's trying to be worse, but it's not as bad as Facebook is. Facebook is totally the worst. Yes, I'm tired of being out of focus and tired of having to worry about a halo around me and worrying about the green screen. So, zuck the green screen. If I need to pop a picture, I'll just pop it over me and zuck the green screen. It's too much trouble. Where are the zucking masks? I can pop a mask here anytime. I don't know if it's fashionable to put a anonymous mask now. So anyway, hey, I'm wearing green. Too late in Australia. The green is over, but I'm still wearing green. It's still still St. Paddy's Day here in L.A. So wearing green, but I'm not out drinking. No pinching. Yes, I'm not out there having a drink. I don't do that on Sundays. Will we eventually? Yes, we are, Tinkerballs, unless your hearts are green. I thought your real heart was green. Green for St. Pat. Yes, great goal. So anyway, yes, great goal. I did have corned beef and cabbage. Yes, corned beef and cabbage. Do green teeth count? Yes, they count. So I did have I did have corned beef and cabbage. No, my real heart is black. Zuck. Nikki at night has a black heart. Zuck. Okay, so anyway, back to what I'm talking about. I don't believe it's true that Facebook and your phone actually listens to what you say. I don't think that's true. And if you want to verify, there's actually a way to verify it. You leave your phone, you run something called Wireshark on your device, and you leave it there, and then you see, if you're not doing anything, if your phone is just left there, you're not using Siri. It's different when you're using Siri. But let's say your phone is just sitting there and you don't touch it, and then and you just leave it like that, and then you use Wireshark and see if there's traffic that comes out just by talking to the phone without activating it, and you're not on Hello Siri. So I don't think that's a proven thing, okay? But there's some subconscious things that can happen. Hello, Mystic Diana, Nikki. There's some subconscious things that happen. Let's say there's some interconnection between you and people that you don't even realize. Let's say that you talk to somebody, Nikki, you talk to somebody about the root canal, and that person then went to search for root canal on Facebook, on Google, or on whatever platform, right? Typically Facebook or Google. Or went to a website and found a website that has to do with dentists, or went and searched for a dentist name or anything like that. Those are all clues, okay? Now, but here's the part that you don't know about, Nikki. This is the part that you don't realize. What could happen is that you are on a contact list of somebody you're talking to, and so they actually know there's a conversation that occurred between you and your friend, because you share a contact list and your name is on the contact list and so on, and that actually triggers this connection, and that connects activities between people. You may not know that part of it. That's how sneaky they can get, okay? But typically, the way that they track you is this. This is how they do this, okay? I'm gonna try to explain this clearly. You are tracked by something called browser fingerprinting. It's called browser fingerprinting. This is the number one way they track your activities on the internet. Browser fingerprinting means they can Google and Facebook specifically, those two entities, know when you go to any other website on the internet and what you do there. Even though you're not on Google, you're simply going to a website. Most of those websites have something called Google Analytics on it, and they have code in there from Google, and they can actually observe what's happening to any website you visit. So if you go to a dental website and you, even though you didn't specifically search for it, let's say it's in your favorites, well, they have your favorites anyway. They have that stored. Then that will not be triggered. But nowadays, people actually put everything in search, which is really, 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 really interesting how instead of typing a domain like www.dentist.com, you're actually going to say, I'm going to go search for www.dentist.com, which is like, it's not enough that you tell your DNS, domain name service provider, what you're searching for. You want to tell Google what you're searching for. So now you've given twice the information now. Do you mean to tell me they've seen where I go now next? Yes, of course they can see where you're going. So if you go to a porn site, and then after that you go to a juicing site, then after that you go to a yogurt site, after that you go to a gun site, after that you go to a weight loss site, after that you go to YouTube, and then view various videos on there on various topics on politics, and on and on and on. Okay, so they've actually profiled you in all of those behaviors. See, you're not just profiled by what you did last. You're profiled by everything you do constantly over a history of time on the internet. It's really devious and super creepy. How did you know? Yes, Nikki. Yes. So recommended videos on YouTube. Yes. So it's very, very creepy. It's very, very creepy. Okay, that is the financial model of Google. That's how Google makes money. That's how Facebook makes money. Facebook, a lot of people don't realize that Facebook is just the same as Google when it comes to tracking you all over the internet. Again, using the Facebook like button, just like Google Analytics, every website has a Facebook like button. And those Facebook like buttons track you all over the internet, and using something again called browser fingerprinting, they're able to track you all over the internet and what you do on every website, and they identify you as being, oh, we saw you before. You were the guy on Facebook, and this is your name on Facebook, and you are now Zuck, and your real name is Kelp Farming. Okay, so that's the terrible stuff about being unaware of what goes on the internet. And sometimes you say, well, I'm just going to go do, a ad blocking tracker or something like that. And that is, it's retarget, it's creepy if the advertiser, it's very aggressive. And the advertiser that configures it is Google and Facebook. That's most of the ads, Google and Facebook. All of the Google ads and all that's actually Google. Now, having said this, I'm going to tell you that on Google, they've actually made a way for you to minimize the effects of that using something called Google Activity Controls. You can actually do this. I've tried it. Seems to work. I don't know if they're storing your data anyway, but at least when I do Google Controls, they stop feeding me things in my YouTube recommended and so on. So the way they do this, guys, back in the old days, I'm just going to compare the old days and the new days and how this is done. Back in the old days, they did this by cookies. So this is the way they did this back in the day. And by old days, I mean, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you go to a website, they put a marker in a cookie on your computer and say, okay, I visited this website and I'm now tagged by this advertising company as user 123. So if you go to another website, they will see, oh, is there a tag from this ad company? And if so, they said, oh, it's user 123. So now they match the two up, and you're identified. Okay. Now a lot of you will use cookie blockers and so on, ad blockers, and what the ad blockers do is prevent the cookie from being saved that says your user 123. Okay, they prevent the user from being saved with user 123. Well, they've gotten around that. They've gotten around that with something called browser fingerprinting, where they don't really need to store a cookie. They just identify your computer. It's called device fingerprinting, really, because they identify what your device looks like. They actually know you have this brand, you have an HP Spectre X360, this model with the CPU, with this display and so much resolution, and your browser's like this, and your battery level is this much, on and on and on. So they actually know that, so they don't need the cookie. So it's actually not true that the cookies themselves are alone the issue here. It's not. So they've gone beyond that, and this is where it gets really dangerous, because you actually start to find out that you can't block it. So the way that you can block it on Google is to go into Google Activity Controls and say pause the tracking for website that you visit, pause tracking for YouTube videos that you watch, pause tracking for locations, pause tracking for this and that. You can do that on Google. They allowed it, in the last year, which is, since GDPR was passed in Europe, they allowed that. So that's actually working for me. I found that it, it's not, so far it's not abusing anything. So it sounds like I have to spoof my Mac. It's spoofing MAC address not going to work. That's not part of browser fingerprinting. Spoofing your MAC address isn't going to do anything for you. So don't worry about spoofing MAC address. You can't even spoof a location with your MAC address. No, be careful with that. If you don't know what the target is trying to get from you, you will waste your energy on things like spoofing. It's very easy to spoof a MAC address on a device, but you have to remember to keep doing it. And even if you do, it doesn't do anything, since spoofing is only important for certain environments. Spoofing of MAC addresses is only for certain environments, not in this scenario. It has nothing to do with advertising. It's a video app, TikTok, and App Store. So anyway, so what the solution here, people, is on Google. You have to do the pausing the Google activity controls, and then prevent the storage of your identifier for the browser fingerprinting, which they share between sites, and they actually wrote, someone from EFF.org wrote a code that actually tracks if somebody's sharing your identifier between websites for the browser fingerprinting, and that is going to be stopped by something called Privacy Badger that you can download from EFF.org, Privacy Badger. Okay? Is that 100%? No. Is there anything 100%? No. Will the Google pausing of activity controls work? So far, it seems to work, and they seem to respect it. So I'm going to give kudos to Google for allowing that. Can we get apps without Google on the phone? No, because YouTube is a number 2 largest search engine. So you can't avoid interacting with Google. If you use an app called Waze is owned by Google. So you're kind of zucked. Anyway, as it turns out, the real danger, of course, is not actually because Google allows you to pause. So in my experience, that's a positive. Now I have no idea if they still keep the history, but they certainly don't display it and don't share it. In which case, then we'll see. As of right now, they're behaving nicely if you choose to select privacy. As Eric Schmidt from Google said, they want to get to spying on you without getting creepy. At the edge of being creepy, they said. They want to spy on you at the edge of being creepy, not to cross the line to being creepy. Okay? There's the difference with Facebook. Facebook decided, creepy? Hey, I'm Zuck. I look creepy as it is. I already look creepy. So we are going to have an attitude of, not just looking creepy and acting creepy, because I have to keep up to my image here of my creepy. Hold on. I gotta, keep up to my image here, because I'm already creepy as it is. Okay. Since Zuck is already creepy, then it's not a big move for him to say, well, we'll do our creepy behavior. We'll do our creepy behavior on the internet and really track you like crazy. Let me just tell you how creepy Facebook is in comparison. Okay, let me just tell you how creepy, Facebook is with comparison. And by the way, they want to be the privacy-focused social media as like, Zuck you, Mother Zucker. What kind of lie is that? Okay. Zuck here said, we need to protect. Is our conversation here being recorded? Yeah, somebody, although Eggdrop stopped recording you, Eggdrop stopped. Eggdrop is stopped operation. So at least Eggdrop stopped tracking you. They used to be tracking you. So Facebook said, we would love you to have better security on Facebook. People can steal your accounts and do all that. We'd love you to be safer on Facebook. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to allow you, and we recommend, in fact, we're going to force you to give us your phone number because your phone number is going to be used for two-factor authentication. Okay, we need two-factor authentication. So we need you to put in your phone number so we can verify your. Hello, Rudy. We can verify your identity with two-factor authentication. Okay, so that's and you said, oh, how nice. They care about us. Facebook cares about us. Now, this is the Zuck for you. This is just an example of the Zucking Zuck. He says, oh gosh, ha ha ha, these fools gave us their phone number. Ha ha ha, what stupid people. They gave us their phone number. Let's track those phone numbers. And then let's Zucking sell them. So now they have your phone number. And they're using that phone number to track you now. It's like sucked up. Sucked up. So now they really know your identity, because if you show up on the internet or the world with a phone number, they'll say, oh, yep, that matches our phone number, so we know who you are. Okay? That is just zucked up. Zucked up. So, and Zuck says, oh, we want to, track you for healthcare. Back Feng Shui. Okay, I'll lower it. Okay, is that better Feng Shui for you? A little lower. So how about we're gonna we want to sell you health things. So we want to know what your health status is, so we can sell you things that have to do with health, since it's a big source of income. And so what they decide to do, they said, let's track your activity from your health apps. So if you have a health monitor app, one of those watches and so on, that checks your pulse rate and your blood pressure and all that, it's being sent to Facebook. They contracted with these companies to send the data to Facebook. And some of you say, well, I'm going to post my tattoo on, like Yo Pickles, post my tattoos on Facebook. And then Facebook said, hey, it's a good idea. Let's come up with a tattoo database. So they take everyone's tattoo and store it in the database. And of course, facial recognition. They just have to use every opportunity. Zuck is Pinocchio, yes. So again, I repeat the story because you ought to understand just how this guy thinks. So he said, okay, here's an opportunity. There's two people at a bar, a man and a woman in a bar. There's two people now. They don't know each other, but the guy in the bar says hi to the girl in the bar, and the girl in the bar says, "Go away, I don't want to talk to you." So the guy was pushed off at the bar, goes home, and finds this girl being recommended on his Facebook account, and the girl then finds him with the real names and saying, "Okay, we're trying to match as friends on Facebook." And they did that just by proximity, meaning they took locations, matched locations, and start sharing information about that. And that alone can be caught for advertising location. So simply by being in a certain place, like if you're at the doctor's office, you're at your dental office, then they'll start selling you dental products. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, they might sell you Chinese food. I have no idea. You go to Bevmo, they're going to sell you beverages. On and on and on. It's basically, it's really, really such aggressive tracking of what you do, and it's just nonstop. Now, you can to some extent control a little bit of this, and this is not a lot of control, but a little bit of it can be controlled by knowing what browser or what search engine you use. And this is why I put the two comparisons there of DuckDuckGo versus Google search. And you really need to compare DuckDuckGo, Google search, YouTube, and startpage.com. Okay? Is Cloud Atlas coming? I don't know. So what's the difference between each one? And I want you to understand that even though YouTube is a Google product, they've actually treated it a little bit differently. Okay? So Google search is not just searching for your words. I just want to make sure we understand this. Google search is not just searching for the words that you type. They're always building a profile of you. They're always trying to, they have everything about your behavior is part, including your picture on Google accounts, including what you say in your emails on Gmail. That's one thing that you may have not recalled, that they are reading your email, so therefore they can profile you based on what comes and goes into your Gmail account. They also can read what you buy from Amazon, because Amazon, if you have a Gmail account and your Gmail account is used on Amazon, then Amazon is basically telling Google what you're buying from Amazon, because it's showing up in a confirmation order email. So that all of these are connecting you on the search side with other things like what websites you visit, and then plus all the demographics that you've ever filled out anywhere on the internet. And plus the information that they may be able to buy from third parties that may be able to sell them. So your activities on the internet are attached to your computer, typically by some sort of identifier like a Google account, Google ID, or your Android. Okay? So if you understand this, you understand that it's a pretty evil thing to be profiled. Because if somebody knows everything about you and you don't know anything about them, whoever's looking for you, but they know everything about you. This is the other part that I'm going to add to that list, that big list of things they track. They have every location you've ever been in. Now I'm going to make it clear: every phone, every Android and every iOS device is tracking you constantly. They have a record of every place you go within 6 feet. Within 6 feet. This does not mean that Apple and Google share this to third parties. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Apple does not share exact locations with third parties directly unless you're using Chrome on your device. So if you're using Safari, which is the default from Apple, on your Mac or on your phone, they don't share your exact location within 6 feet. However, Apple knows your exact location within 6 feet. It's in their database. They know this exactly. And how do you know that I'm accurate? Go find my phone. Find my phone shows what Apple knows about you. So Apple knows what you know, what your location is based on Find My Phone. And as I told you, they have that, and they record it for every device that you have. Google does the same thing. And they track your locations, and it's in my video. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Google, Android is the number one tracker of all. Android tracks you regardless. Apple tracks you. If you put Google products on the phone, they will track you better. If you have Apple in there only, Apple products only, they will not share the data. Apple itself will be as accurate as Google, but they will not share the data. Okay, I'm going to make a video explaining, how you may want to carry two kinds of devices on you. A dumb phone and then a smartphone, so that you use your smartphone only in the proper context, because these things are continuously tracking everywhere you go. So they know, some of you are just not thinking about some of the things that you might be going to and how it's being tracked by third party. And I don't mean law enforcement. I'm just saying somebody can use it to blackmail you. Somebody can use it for business kind of planning. For example, let's say you're a CEO and you're traveling, and now they know where you're traveling to, and you're traveling to somebody that might be a target for acquisition. And these kinds of things then are discoverable just by knowing your location. Okay, Mystic Deanna. Uh, terms and conditions apply. Okay. Good night. So anyway, if you um I forgot where I was. What specific thing and what was I talking about? Dumb phones do not have a flashlight. Oh, they do, Rudy. There's some that do. There's some that do. I'm gonna make a video about that because unfortunately it's not that easy to buy a dumb phone. So I'm gonna make a video about it. It's on my video on location. There's some suggested phones in there. But if you want an explanation of what these phones are and what best ones to have as a side phone, then I'll make a new video for it. The reason I'm delaying making the video is because I bought myself one of the phones and I want to make sure I demonstrate it. Okay? Because I want to show you, because the problem is some of the phones, if you just buy it, there's a flip phone here, like a track phone or whatever, and then you find out the limitation, like it's only prepaid only or tied to a specific carrier, then you can't really use it, or it's on 2G and 2G is not going to be available next year. So it's a little bit tricky. You have to understand, if you're not technical about knowing what to buy, hold off doing that until you hear what I have to say about it. If you're going to choose, there's some issues. You have to really think about it, and there are issues you're going to realize as you use it that make it really, if you make the wrong choice, you're not going to use it. So I'll talk about that sometime next week when I get the device. So maybe latter part of next week when I get the phone to demo. Okay. But then I'll explain a little bit of what the logic is. Every day my eyes get bigger and bigger. Papa, Mama, yes, Moose, run. So anyway, the thing is that the Facebook world is a little bit different than the Google world in terms of profiling you and spying on you, and it's not the same as when you search on. By the way, Facebook is a search engine too. So if you search on Facebook, you're adding to their profile about you, and Facebook is already profiling you based on what you're posting on Facebook. Facebook has no way to delete what you post about you. They don't allow you to delete anything, so they store it forever. So it's and they're very, very invasive when it comes to facial recognition and seeing you in pictures everywhere and tracking your locations and all that. Facebook is very, very bad at this. It's evil. They actually Facebook found a way to override the Apple and Google tracking that is done on the phone. And they're now tracking you in ways that include a MAC address. And they're tracking you from their app. So one of the things that I would advise to you people is don't ever have the Facebook app on your phone. No zucking way. I'd say, make sure you're not on Facebook. Some of you are just reluctant to leave Facebook, and I was like, I don't know what to tell you. But if you're not going to leave Facebook, use the browser. Don't use the app. They put some things in the app to do some extensive tracking of you. So if you want to be, be tracked without a way to turn it off, from what I gather, they're doing the tracking in such a surreptitious way that they don't ask for your location rights. In essence, they're saying, we don't really need to track your location. Well, true. They don't need to specifically ask Apple and Google to give them your location because they're finding your location from other ways within the app. Okay, they're doing something themselves that Apple and Google is doing. They're doing Wi-Fi triangulation. They're doing it from within the Facebook app. It's really evil. Okay, so you can't turn that off. You can't turn that off. I have flip phones with 2G or can it be 3G? Sharp Eagle, most flip phones are 2G. Some are even 1G. Many flip phones can't be used anymore. Flip phones can't be used anymore. just use MySpace. I still have MySpace. You can enjoy life without Zuckbook. Some people don't think they can enjoy life without Zuckbook. My family's there. It's like, Zuck my family. I stopped using Zuckbook and somehow my family still finds me. I wonder why. They can still find me. And I don't see their posts about all the stupid things that they do and all the food that they eat and so on and all the traveling they've done. I don't see that. And it's like, who cares? So I didn't see what they ate today. I didn't see them at the bus stop the day before. I didn't see them watch this show. I didn't see them travel to France a month ago. I didn't see that. Good. You get all of your life advice from Zuckbook. And what did you? Yes, Tinker. What exactly is the purpose for me to see that they are living a better life than me? Is that the point? Oh, look at them travel. I mean, they live such a great life. They do all this. It's like, Zuck that. Who cares? Life isn't more about that. And you actually say, well, I love Zuckbook. Starlight loves Zuckbook. Starlight loves Zuckbook because he goes to Zuckbook on his birthday and everybody's greeting him, happy birthday. It's like, wow, I really feel good. You got hundreds of people greeting me, happy birthday every month. And it's like, Starlight, please, Starlight. You should know this. When your birthday is about to arrive, the people who follow you get a message saying, it's your birthday, click here so you can greet them happy birthday. So, and you do it because they will greet you happy birthday as well. It's like follow for follow. Happy birthday for happy birthday. It's like, it's fake. We're so self-centered. It's why hard to leave Zucky book. He's taking advantage of that. And some people come to me and say, some of the stuff that I'm telling you, like use DuckDuckGo, use a VPN, turn off activity controls and leave Facebook. All these are too difficult changes. I'm not going to change my habits. Too difficult to change. So I'm just going to not worry. No, Instagram is owned by Zuck. Come on. I'm not going to, unless you set up an Instagram account that's never been connected to Facebook. Don't allow Zuck to take advantage of your self-centered behavior. So the guys, personally, it just bothers me that as a society we've said that these are now our new habits. We've been trained to do it this way for the last few years, and therefore we're never going to change because we're going to, because now that I like to use Zuckbook, I'm going to just keep using this forever. Nothing that anyone tells me is going to change it now because I don't like changing my habits. And somebody actually went to Facebook, to YouTube, and told me on one of my videos that my advice on browser fingerprinting is too difficult, and therefore he can't really implement it, and therefore he won't change his habits for me, based on my advice. And it's too much trouble, he says. And I sorry. If it's too much trouble for you, well, that's exactly why they take advantage of you. This is the world we live in. They use that to your advantage by saying you're going to stick to your habits. They love it. They're saying, well, let's take advantage of you more. And so Zuck is abusing it to such a degree where he's selling your phone numbers, he's tracking your every location and then selling them, tracking your health data, and so on about what you're doing, and your response is, well, I guess nothing really is happening in my life, so I don't care. Well, you don't actually care that you're getting fake news and you're being fed fake information on your timeline, because Facebook is definitely the number one place for selling you fake news, because you actually look at the timeline, you think those are actual news. You don't even Google, you don't even search for actual news anymore. You just say accept what you see on Facebook. Well, this is the kind of zucked up behavior that will just screw us as a world, not just as a country, but as a world, because this is where we get manipulated. This is how we get manipulated. Manipulation comes from having all these fixed platforms where somebody is doing the censoring. Somebody decides what you're going to see or not see, and which leads me to a side comment, okay, about New Zealand. So I was talking about the New Zealand shooter, and I was trying to find the video for the New Zealand shooter. It was hard to find because everyone was removing it from social media, and it was kind of upsetting that I had to go search for that. So they deleted it from social media, so none of us see the shooting. And but I wanted to see it. It's my choice. I want to see it. I want to know exactly what happened. I don't want to be told what happened. I want to actually see what happened, so that nobody ever tells me, yes, Kandavu, I already know that. So I want to make sure that I see what happened rather than somebody telling me what happened. It's just my nature, okay? And I want to see the evil for what it is, and so I can judge for myself. There's a lot of evil in the world, It's nothing new. I'm not surprised by evil. A lot of evil in the world, and I expect it. So I met someone who preferred to pay $60 to have his new computer retrofitted with a 50 rather than upgrading to high speed. It's pretty funny. So anyway, I finally found, yes, I went to that site and then found the video, and I watched this disgusting individual kill people like, they're like nothing. It's like, no remorse, nothing. It's just and that will stick in my mind now because I saw the evil that this person represented. And then I see this article in the press that says those of us who want the video to stay up are supporting this shooter. I mean, that's a totally zucked up comment. Just because I want to see what happened. Hello, iSocialFit. There's your buddy right there. Or your boss right there. Just because I wanted to see the video, they actually said that that in itself means that I support the shooter in New Zealand. Oh, good. You make sure to tell them. Nanny State doesn't tell me what I can. I understand that Facebook doesn't want to have the reputation of showing those kinds of videos. Okay, got it. And I understand that it'll move to sites that don't really care about that kind of image because they're, that's fine. This is the internet. Okay, but for somebody in MSM. For somebody in MSM to say, it was an MSM article. Trying to remember who wrote it. May have been the New York Times. I can't remember. But somebody wrote that and said that just by putting out, the difficulty in wiping out this video from the internet shows how we want to push the agenda, to push up the agenda of the shooter. So that we want to push the agenda of the shooter. And I'm like saying to myself, that is just... So basically, that's another censorship thing to say, we do not have a right to see it. You know what? If you read the book 1984, except for Kelp, forgetting Kelp here, if you read the book 1984, what they did in 1984 is fake the news. So if you're able to keep videos like this from being shown, then you've actually effectively, prevented people from seeing the truth. And then at some point in time, somebody will come by. Well, I want to see it. You don't have to see it. Certainly you don't. Many people may not want to see it, and they probably shouldn't. But they should just leave it and say, graphic violence, don't look at this, but not stop somebody like me from looking at it. Thank you, big brother. So why should somebody tell me what I should and should not watch? Because what actually is going to happen? It's in the book 1984. They actually have Big Brother actually tell you what the news is, and so they alter by if you don't have a video, they can probably alter the video and or in an alternate case um, show different kind of news, and because the video has been removed from view, years from now somebody will say, well, that really didn't really happen. The Holocaust didn't happen. There's a lot of these Nazi like groups say, well, the Holocaust is not real. It's too late. I social fit. I saw it because I want to see what kind of evil this person was up to. Okay, it's my right to see it, and I saw it. It's disturbing, but I want to see it. I want to see what it's capable of. I also see what I would do if I encounter a situation like that. To see if I need to carry one of these. If I need to carry one of these in my pocket, and if I see somebody like that, what I'd have to do to shoot him back. You can learn from what he was doing. Like do you run? Your gun wouldn't have helped. Of course it would have helped. Of course it would have. When you hear a shot, you position yourself and hide in a way that, and then you do proper clearing. Replica won't help much. Well, I'm gonna make sure it's not a replica. The lesson is to go to his car and take his spare gun. Yes, it is a fake gun. Is that an airsoft in your pocket or just happy to see me? What if you were the first one to get shot? Then you're done. Yes, but what if I'm not the first one to get shot? I social fit? What does that have to do with anything? What if 10 of those people had guns in their back pocket, and one of them survived and could shoot back? That could have saved a lot of people, rather than saying, I'm just going to sit here and get shot. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I am not suggesting anything. I just wanted to see the video. I just wanted to see the video. It doesn't matter what you believe in terms of guns. I just wanted to see what this bad guy was doing. Darwin Awards is a fickle mistress. Shot doesn't mean killed or unable to shoot back. Yeah, there was this guy who was shot 8 times and he was still able to survive. He was shot 8 times, 8 bullets, and he was still alive. And I remember this when I was young. This announcer on the radio got shot 8 times. He recovered. It's disturbing, and I really hope this doesn't happen to anyone. Yes, I social fit. It is disturbing, and of course I don't want it to happen to anyone. I want to see what this bad guy did, though, and I just want to have the right to see it without being labeled. I want to see what he did, and I want to see what he did without being labeled as a supporter of this evil. Okay? Why would watching the video classify me as a supporter? It's crazy. Oh, you saw the video, so you must be a supporter of this guy. It's like, are you sucked up? Sucked up? What is the second attack? He actually came back in. Yeah, and then this guy shot him one time, came back in. They said he shot 49 people, and I didn't see 49 people. Well, many people will also start saying, copycats, and I'll also bring my gun to shoot him back. Well, it's never not one side. Okay, because once they saw the technique used by this particular person, they might be alerted on the street to say, "Hey, that looks like that guy is going to do the same thing they did in New Zealand, and it's still outside the door. He looks like he's going to do the same thing in New Zealand. Let's call the police now." In the video, though, I didn't see 100 people. There were 2 mosques. Oh my gosh! Now I didn't even follow that. People who see it can't be counted on to believe the subsequent. People who see it can't be counted on to believe the subsequent fake news. That's the thing. If you see it, no one can spin it differently. I know, Eagle Source. No one can spin it differently when you see it. And that's really important to see what the reality is. So yeah, watch the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. I only saw the one mosque in the one video. If there's any other video, I didn't see it. Or maybe there was no other video in the second mosque. I have no idea. So was there a second mosque? It's pretty crazy. They want to hide the video to change the narrative. Zuck that. Yeah, I put a warning in there that, if you're this is sensitive information and you shouldn't watch it and you don't have to, but leave it out there. And the reason I did not copy the video, but I could copy the video. But the thing though about leaving it there is so that no one can say we can fake the news and come up with an alternate video at some later point in time. It's important for the record, especially for people who are trying to be more like journalists like me. I'm trying to act like a journalist because this is what I do. I talk about it here. I want to actually see that so that I can talk about it here on my broadcast. I don't want to say, I didn't really see it. Somebody told me this, but I didn't really know that. I want to actually see it so I can talk about it. But to imply that somehow I support that because I don't want it to be deleted from the internet. Well, you're zucked up, whoever you are saying that. You are really zucked up. That is the effect of censorship. I was so disgusted when I went to Twitter. They posted a video and they said how terrible this thing is. And then they deleted the video and then I can't watch it. And 50% of the people on the list said, delete the video, delete the video. So 50% of the people were pro censorship. I mean, such an easy answer. My gosh. I mean, what they should have said instead is, instead of saying delete the video, hey, caution, caution, you may not want to watch this. This is disturbing. You may not want to watch this. That's an appropriate thing to say. But to say, delete it, so that other people can't watch it. We got to watch it already, but you don't have any right to watch it. I say, fuck you. What, you're going to change the story on us? Yes, they already saw the video and they say, delete it. Just to make sure that the other people like us, the second batch, can't see it. And I didn't see it. I was broadcasting, and by the time I got there and looked at it, in the morning, I didn't get to see it, and I had to look for it, and I couldn't find it. I didn't, And one of the reasons you can't find it is because the search engines prevented you from finding it. Who's Bob? So the search engines, if you search for it, it doesn't come up in the search engines. So that's one of the ways to say, well, we're going to hide this by not putting in the search engines. Just so manipulative. This, by the way, is exactly what I'm talking about with manipulation, with the advertising. Because this is this thing that I've told you before, and I just want to make sure that you understand this context. In your on your search in Google, if you're a Democrat, you see different results than if you're a Republican. If you're, depending on your profile, again, they look at your profile. They have this idea of your identity and your personality and everything based on everything that you do. This is global. Everything you do on the internet is in this theoretical profile they have of you on Google and Facebook. So they can fashion the internet based on what they think you ought to see. Okay? They can fashion the internet based on what you ought to see, and that's really disturbing that they can do that, because then I don't see any truth in any kind of direct way. It's always like adjusted. For example, if you're pro Hillary, then you actually only saw pro Hillary kind of videos, and if you're anti Hillary, then you see all the Pizzagate. So it's almost like each group is insulated from the other, and so you don't actually see the reality. Why don't you just give me all the news? I can filter those based on what I see, what's real, what's not real. They don't even want to do that. The Google Jigsaw API, the Jigsaw algorithm is saying, we're going to decide what you're going to see. 53 people here tonight and no fruits or veggies. They will think I'm a hacker watching your scopes all the time. D. Halma, did I hack you at any moment? Did you see any hacking on any of my scopes? Did I hack anyone except for a troll that attacked me? So there's no profile. If you patron flagged my account as suspicious. Patron flagged my account as suspicious. So they won't let me take money from Patreon. So don't put money in Patreon, because I can't really promote Patreon if they're gonna do this. And I'm asking myself, what the Zuck? Why would you flag me as suspicious? I am the least suspicious guy you can ever imagine. I mean, about straightforward you can be. And Patreon flagged me as suspicious, and they don't respond and do anything. I'm waiting for weeks, and they still haven't flagged as suspicious. And they said that somebody will contact me, and it's like, it's gonna take months to do this. I mean, why am I using Patreon? What's the point of this? And what's the point of flagging me that's never been banned on any social media ever, never been banned on Twitter, on not even Facebook, not on MySpace, certainly not on Periscope, not on YouTube. Nobody's ever banned me. Nobody's even given me a strike. Nothing. Nobody's given me a warning. There's nothing. I've not been given any kind of thing. And yes, I don't need Patreon. You can donate directly on BraxMe. You can give tokens on BraxMe, so I don't even need it. But it's like I did it because some people thought it would be more convenient. And it's thank you, Moose Run, but you aren't necessarily a good reference for the, so naturally they don't like you. You're not good reference for the. Yes. Since I don't like Zuck, then if they're a supporter of Zuck, they'll say, "Oh yeah, you're not a good supporter of social media." So, Patreon is a suspicious to me. Seems like a pyramid scheme. It would be masochistic if they like you. It's like asking the question too, Kelp, since you receive abuse here every night, and you're still like showing up. So anyway, Patreon banned it from the get go. Well, so anyway, in any case, I'm guessing that they did that because they see from my broadcast that I do broadcasts about topics related to hacking and doxing, not knowing that it's to tell you how not to be hacked and not to be doxed. So I'm actually the reverse. I'm here for defense, to prevent you from being hacked or doxed. And they just flag me and say, well, we saw the word dox in your video, so therefore you must be a doxer. It's like, can you actually show video where actually revealed somebody's private information? I've actually, even if I've doxed somebody, I've kept the doxing information to myself. I don't actually reveal it to anybody else. So that's not really doxing. Doxing is when you reveal the information to the public. If I dox you and then I keep it to myself, in essence, it's not really doxing because I haven't publicly revealed it to anyone. Just donate in Bitcoin. You're watching on BraxMe, Heidi? bro, you got Twitch? Yes, it's Rob Braxman on Twitch. You can watch me on Twitch. This is live stream on Twitch right now too. Buying your VPN, tow router, hat, and shirt, sending super hearts. There you go, Great Gold. Thank you. Sounds like a Gordian knot of semantics. Whew, that's heavy. What games you play? What kind of game are you playing, man? What kind of game are you playing? I don't play any game. I do a broadcast. This is a simulcast on Twitch. This broadcast is on Twitch right now. The exact same thing. I don't broadcast any different thing on Twitch. So this is right now streamed on Twitch and on YouTube. So Twitch and YouTube. So anyway, please, for those of you who are new, please subscribe to my YouTube account right there, Rob Braxman Tech, where I can teach you more with the videos, because half the time I'm doing the videos, not the live stream. So please subscribe to my YouTube account, Rob Braxman Tech. You're not going to find it on anything else but YouTube. It's not on Periscope. It's not on Twitch. You can subscribe to my Twitch account. You can follow me on Twitch as well, but it'll be the same video as here on Periscope. And turn on that notification bell. So anyway, back to topic here, and just to summarize. Are you going to bed? Back to summarize the topic. So the profiling done by Google is to create this image of you, of what you do on the internet, what locations you've been in, or which by the way in itself, yes, you can advertise on my videos. So Patreon's politically motivated rather than money motivated. I don't really know Beth by Kiss. Hello Van. I don't know what their political motivations are. Have no idea actually. I don't actually know, since a lot of right-wing people are supported by Patreon, like Cernovich. So I don't actually know if they have any political leanings or not. So anyway, subscribe to my YouTube account, please, so you get the videos. And back to what I'm talking about. Google is creating this little image of you, a profile of you, including locations. Locations alone are enough to actually profile you by knowing, do you go to church on Sunday? What kind of church? Do you go to school? What kind of school? Do you go to work? Do you work far from home, near home? Where do you live? Where do you eat dinner? Do you go out to dinner on weekends? Do you go to the movies? Do you go to the doctor's office? How many times have you been to the doctor's office? Do you go travel everywhere? Do you drive far in a car? Drive near? All of these behaviors are obvious just from locations. And Google has that together with everything else about what websites you visit, and how you click on various websites, and what you search for, and what YouTube thinks you watch, and on and on and on. So this creates a very, very distinctive profile with Zuck and his chauffeur. Very, very distinctive profile of you, and it's very, very disturbing that you would let somebody know this much about you. So think about this when you go do a Google search. Think that you're adding actually to this little image of you. Think of your face, your actions, this little robot being built, this little bot built in their head, imagining how you would behave. They actually have a little abstract model of you in there. That is very disturbing to realize that that's happening. Very, very disturbing to me. When you go search on DuckDuckGo or on startpage.com, which are the alternate ways that you should be doing search, in 2007, when the total loss of privacy happened with Google, and then Facebook, in 2011 or so, said, we're really going to zuck you up. Okay? Stormy will be Wong Barbie. Stormy is now Wong Barbie. I use Dogpile. DuckDuckGo tracking you also. So DuckDuckGo, the way DuckDuckGo works, Tony, is by doing it by search words. And obviously you should have a VPN because, because this is what happens. This happens in all search engines, whether you use startpage.com or DuckDuckGo. You have to realize that once you click on the website, you have now left the domain of the search engine. I'm glad you feel there's a positive in that, Kelp. So at some point, somebody will tell you that you can't watch a video and you can't buy things. In California, we're told we can't buy things. So I'm glad that we have our liberties and we can buy things. Actually, no. Like, I can't buy ammo. I can't buy ammo online. It's not allowed. I can't buy airsoft guns online because I can't ship it to Los Angeles because that's banned. Airsoft. This is an airsoft gun. This is banned. I cannot buy this and have it shipped to California using Amazon. Okay? So Kelp said, no, Amazon will not ship it to me. Oh, I can't, I got all the freedoms. I can buy anything in the world. I have all the freedoms. No. I support each state's freedom. Go live in Nevada then. Go try ordering and grow straws in California. I go to a restaurant and I say, can I have a straw? Well, you're not helping the environment with these straws. Yeah, but I really want a straw. Well, that's not... Actually, we ran out of straws because, it's our way of contributing to the environment by not having straws. Because the straws go into the ocean. And I said to myself, why would a straw that I'm using in a restaurant go into the ocean? Yeah, foie gras. They banned foie gras. Yes, I think they re-allowed it now, but they banned foie gras. So I'm like saying to myself, I'm drinking iced tea at a restaurant using a straw, and I like my iced tea with a straw because I like it really cold. And then they tell me, well, you can't drink straws in California. You can't drink with straws in California because it goes to the ocean. Then I say, why don't you pass a zucking law that says, don't throw straws in the ocean from the restaurant? How the zuck do you get from the restaurant to the ocean? That's where the law should be. The law shouldn't be to stop you from using a straw, but the law should be, do not allow straws from getting from the restaurant to the zucking ocean. Goes to the landfill, not the ocean. Well, tell that in California. In Los Angeles, you can't, Los Angeles, they said, no. It goes from your mouth, from the drink, it goes directly to the ocean somehow. It's like, sucking, show that to me. I'd like to know exactly how that works. Garbage bags rip, straws get loose. What about all the thick plastic things? What about the rest of the garbage, PJ? Okay, why don't you pass laws that says cover up your garbage so the wind doesn't blow it? Why does it have to be a straw specifically? What else is in your garbage bag? What about your plastic cups? Whatever, everything else. What's up with that? Why the straw? Why specifically a straw? Why can't I use a straw in California, but I can use any kind of plastic thing? I can use plastic spoons. I can use plastic forks. I can use plastic bags. But I cannot have a straw. They're all plastic. What's the reason? Oh, gosh. Those will be banned next. Well, why not pass a law that says, don't dump in the ocean? There's already a law like that. But they can't deal with it. Oh, we don't have, that's not enough to say, don't dump in the ocean. Enjoy the iced tea using a zucking paper straw. Well, give me a paper straw, Wong Barbie. But if I want a straw, I want a straw. What about plastic tooth? Yes. You tell me, Van, it doesn't, you don't even have to think about that. There's everything plastic in life. So why specifically what water bottles? So what is the specific focus on the straw? The smallest thing that you're using as plastic is the straw. There are wooden toothpicks. Yeah. Give it time to get rid of that too. It's like, I don't get it. Just I'm in California. Strange things happen here. Like, strange things. It's an easy one to go without. Yes, it's an easy thing to go without a sucking plastic water, those water drinks. Why do I need that? Bring your own water bottle and pour it from a dispenser. Okay? Stop selling water bottle. Right there, lots of plastic. Stop selling it. Just have a dispenser. Bring your own water bottle. Dispense water yourself. Okay? What about some free dispensers of water? That's going to save the environment. The straw ban was research done by a kid from several years ago. It was faulty research. They have corn-based plastics, but they don't hold up to heat. We're like deviating here now. Anyway, bring your own water. They come with nice little, thermal protected kind of drink containers that a lot of bikers and all that use. And you just have put refill stations, and there you go. Put in a refill station. Make it like Uber. Put that in there, and they'll refill it for you. You don't need to. Back to when is it your problem or the states? Don't care, Kelp, whether it's a state or a city or whatever. This is a city issue. Biker gangs. Anyway, sticking to the topic here. I make my own straw out of chicken intestines. Very handy. Yummy. Yummy, Moose Run. Okay, so my thing though is knowing the difference between what a search engine does and what it does, what it doesn't do. Remember that Google does the searching from when you click on the website. So even if you use DuckDuckGo, if you don't have a VPN, if you don't have browser isolation, all these other things, it's still going to get your info because obviously the search engine is just one part of it. So yes, you can block the search engine tracking by using DuckDuckGo, but without all the other stuff you have to do after that, then you have left the domain of DuckDuckGo and now you're into the main internet, and when you go to the website, they can still track you using the same Google Ads little trackers that they have on there, unless you have Privacy Badger loaded. Okay, so you can see that it's not a simple saying, use DuckDuckGo and you're done. No, there's a lot of things that I've told you about, browser isolation, using a VPN, or Tor, and all the different techniques that I've told you, like turning off location, perhaps using a different device when you're moving around. If you don't need to, let's say you're driving, do you really need your phone to be be on the internet if you're driving with this? Maybe use the alternate phone and take this off the internet. Privacy Badger does not work for iPad. That is correct. Privacy Badger is only for Firefox and Chrome. But Van, you can use Brave on an iPad, and Brave, it has the same kind of things that Privacy Badger has. So you can load Brave on. I actually use Brave on my. I use Brave and DuckDuckGo on my phone, on my iPhone. Yeah, put Brave as your browser on the phone. Or DuckDuckGo. You can still use Safari. Safari is actually not that bad. It doesn't actually send your actual location. So Safari is not that bad. So It's not anywhere near as as invasive as Chrome is. I have Foxfire and Brave on my Android. Good. Yeah, but the Android tracks you until you switch to a different device. There's actually no way to turn off the tracking on the phone. So I'm gonna talk about that more tomorrow. Okay, there's no way to turn off tracking on the phone. So you need to. What's best to use for search engines? Set your device to use a. If you're on mobile, you can use Brave or DuckDuckGo browser. You can also use DuckDuckGo as your search engine, but you still need a VPN. It's not gonna just work without a VPN. A VPN is part of this. You have to do it in coordination because they're gonna track you somewhat by one way or the other. So you have to kind of block all the holes where they can get to you. Okay? Don't use Opera, obviously, yes. You can use Chrome. Just turn off location on Chrome. DuckDuckGo is such a bad brand name. Zucking Brave browser. Give all your data to China. Data to China is Opera. Tinker, and there's more things, browser isolation. If you're going to use ZuckBook, or just leave ZuckBook. The thing is, browser isolation is a necessary thing. If you're on ZuckBook, if you're not on ZuckBook, it's not. It's not as critical. It's critical if you use ZuckBook. If you're not using ZuckBook, it's you can survive without browser isolation. Forget this ghostery stuff. You got to be worried about all these browser extensions like ghostery and so on. You should be careful about that because the problem with some of these things that they can actually track you. So you have to now say, do you trust whoever it is that's tracking you? One of the problems with browser extensions is browser extensions can actually read what's on your page. So if they know what websites you're visiting, could they not track you as well? So you got to be careful about that. Don't just take any browser extension or any solution that you can find on the internet. You have to think about it. It's like, I'll give you an example. Ghost. Think about this. Yesterday I told you about how this guy was hiding his identity by using a mail forwarder. Okay, so this is what he did. So he buys from Amazon. The Amazon ships it to his address in a different state. So a neighboring state, let's say, in my case, let's say I ship it to Nevada. Okay. And then from Nevada, then the remailing company mails it to my actual address here in California. Well, then you have to trust that the company in Nevada is not sharing that information. Well, how do you know that? So the more parties involved, and the more you can never really know. So one of these that I'm a bit concerned about are browser extensions. LibreFox, an open source project designed a copy of Firefox browser that comes with private security enhancements included. That's good, Donnie. That could be a good one to suggest for browser isolation. So we may have to go through the browser isolation topic again because, kind of an important issue. I did the browser isolation talk or video some time ago, a few weeks ago, and this guy says, "There's too much trouble. I'm not going to do it. Too much trouble." And I said to myself, it's really not that much trouble to open up multiple browsers. It's not really that hard. Especially if you save a shortcut on your phone to, let's say you're using Facebook with Brave, you can save it to your home screen. It's not really that hard. You can make an icon, you click on it, you're there. So if your attitude is, well, I don't want to invest the few minutes it will take me to teach me how to set this up right. It's too much trouble. Well, suck you. I mean, if you don't want to have privacy, then build that little bot profile of you that, I can imagine that my what Google knows about me is kind of a hazy cloud. What Google knows about you, man, is like, very firm details, including the shape of your nose and eyes and how much hair you have. And they have this image of you, including what clothes you wear and so on, that's in their database. And I said, mine is hazy. You can do it, yes. What can I use as a virtual machine on an iPad, or is that possible? No, because iPad is not a multitasking device. No, not on an iPad. Again, Van, fortunately, I'm going to credit Apple for this. The spying, especially of location, is, although Apple gets your location, it's not as bad on iOS compared to Android. People are like fourth grader. If they don't feel it immediately, they don't care. It's sad, but it's true. Well, thank you for being supportive, Kelp. That's unusual that I hear something for you in support rather than complain. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'll talk about more and more about this location thing, because it's the video that I made. I made a video, and I'm gonna save the explanation for some of the details, because I explained the video about how you're tracked with Wi-Fi triangulation, but I didn't really go far enough into linking it to geotagging and all that. It's only partially correct. So you're right. So I retract my claim about Brave and China. It's Opera owned by the Chinese. Yes, Perry Pilot. Opera is the one you have to avoid. Aside from the fact that Opera offers a free VPN, that's not really a VPN. It's actually a proxy server, which is a great way to spy on you. Wow, they'll know every website you visit using Opera. So, want to be spied on, use Opera. I'll be perfect. Can you use a remote desktop on iPad, then run virtual machine and computer? Yes, you can. I've done that. A little hard with the keys, though. You didn't answer me in Opera. If it's a Chinese gathering, who cares what they can do? If it's a Chinese gathering, who cares? What can they do? Well, they can profile you like anything else, or they can try to influence the election. Oh, I don't care if they influence the election. You're gonna give a third party the same data that they would get from Cambridge Analytica and give it to the Chinese government. Okay. First of all, since the internet in China is already a government state, I don't really care for any government taking my data. So, period. No, Kelp. Any government that takes my data is not good to me. So if you feel like you should do that, why don't you use Opera? Why should I agree to something called a proxy server, which is actually a honeypot? Why is there a honeypot? Actually, that's true, Van. So I would rather not help any government, including our own. So I want no tracking whatsoever. Of any sort. That's me. So anyway, I'll get back to you tomorrow on the that's not true. Opera is owned by the Chinese government. Hello, Taiwan Lee. So why did they buy Opera? To track Americans and everyone else, I guess. Yes, Tinker, I did. I was a kid, Tinker. So I lived through that. Okay, so anyway, your background looks surreal. Yes, the green screen is like, the green screen is very effective. I'm even wearing green here. It doesn't interfere. That is such a good green screen now. Popcorn is ready. Okay, guys. I'll thanks for watching, and as I said, please subscribe to my YouTube account, and then we'll talk more about what I didn't tell you about location tracking tomorrow. Okay? Good night, my friends. Good night.